So far, we prepared the groundwork for talking to API servers. In this clip, the shopping cart is going to start talking to an API server. Let's zoom into the steps. Clicking the button to submit the order sends an event to the Elm runtime. We will need to define a new message variant, let's call it submit order, which arrives at the update function. The case branch for submit order is going to send a new command to the Elm runtime. We'll need to define a new command with the request details. The Elm runtime takes the command and sends the HTTP request to the API server. After processing the request, the API server sends back an HTTP response to the Elm runtime, which sends a new message to the update function. Notice that the new message variant has a result payload with either a HTTP error or the OK string. The result type is great at handling operations that might fail. The result type also means we must handle both error and OK types in the update function. Let's summarize the code modifications for our shopping cart. We are going to add two new message variants, submit order for the submit button and server response with the result payload. Furthermore, we are going to add a new command with a message named submit order command. The actual command is HTTP GET to the API server. The response from the API server arrives with a server response message and its result payload. As expected, the update function must handle all possible message variants. For the server response payload, we must cover both possibilities, OK and error. Let's have a demo and implement this. To talk to the API server, we are going to start by installing the HTTP Elm package. Then we are going to add an on-click event handler for the place order button, the two new message variants, and the new command. Finally, we are going to set up a local API server and check if the shopping cart can talk to it at this URL, which serves a local text file. On the demo machine, let's install the HTTP Elm package. Click the terminal menu and open a new terminal. Enter Elm install Elm/HTTP to install the HTTP package. We get this prompt about updating the Elm JSON file. Answer yes. The success message confirms the new package is installed. Very good. We can now click here to close the terminal panel. Let's add an event handler for the place order button. Control-click cart view. If Visual Studio Code acts funny, then delete the Elm stuff folder so that it refreshes its caches. Control-click cart view and scroll down to the place order button. Add on-click the new submit order message variant. Now let's add the two new message variants. In the definition of message, add submit order and pipe server response with the result payload that can have either a HTTP error, auto import module, or a string. Save the file. As expected, the compiler is already complaining about handling the new variants in the update function. Before doing that, let's add the new submit order command and define it as a call to HTTP GET. For simplicity, let's skip the actual request body. Use this URL. This URL is not working for now. For the expect field, add HTTP and expect to get a string as a payload with the server response message. Now let's handle the new variants in the update function, which needs to return the tuple with model and command. For the submit order variant, return a tuple with a model and the new command, submit order command, so that when the place order button is pressed, this command is executed. Next, add server response with the OK string, capital O, which we can store in the response text variable. If the order was successful, then let's empty the shopping cart. This means the returning model has an empty list of products and set the status field to the response text string. We don't need any other command, so use command none. If the response failed for some reason, then it's handled by server response with the error stored in the error variable. It's annoying to lose the content of the shopping cart if an error occurs. Let's keep the products in the shopping cart and only update the status with a message like an error occurred, please try again later. Also add an empty command. Save the file all errors are gone, switch to the browser and refresh the page. Click the button to place the order. Since the API URL is not yet working, we get the expected error message. Very good. Now let's set up the local API server. Right-click to create a new folder, server-data. Right-click server data, add a new file named connection.txt. With the text, congratulations, the API connection works well. Press Ctrl S to save the file and open the URL in the browser to check that it really works. Control-click this URL. It needs source/server data. Try again and we get the right content. This means the API server is working. Refresh the page and place the order. If an error occurs, then also try replacing this with localhost. Save the file, refresh again the page and place the order. We get the congratulations message as a status and the shopping cart is empty since the response from the API was okay. Perfect.